So, last week, ISIS takes control of the northern port of Mozambique called Mocadia da Parada. So why is this important? This relatively unknown eastern Mozambican coastal town of Mocadia da Parada, who knows about it? Why is it important? If ISIS wants it, give it to them. Well, the importance is that if we understand what that port is about, we may want to wake up and worry. And that port is a major port used for drug trafficking, especially heroin. Heroin now coming down from the Afghanistan region, note Afghanistan, Muslim controlled, down the coast, into Mozambique, across into Africa, utilizing the infrastructure of Southern Africa, and out back into Europe. So, what have drugs got to do with Islam? Well, just like Muhammad used slave trade in his time for money, just the same way as Muhammad robbed and pillaged the caravan trade into Mecca to create money to fund his military operation. This is exactly the same case which is happening in Mozambique. But here's the fundamental problem which I have with it, is that the media reports of this desensitize the listening population to the real cause of Islam. Listen to this clip.
At the beginning, Islamists in Mozambique used to make news for raiding tiny villages along the country's northern coast. But this year, they started posting online videos of militants in uniform with machine guns attacking bigger towns.
Notice in the clip you hear the Islamic jihadists shouting, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, and shooting their guns. Allah's great. Allah's the greatest. Now, you only do that when you're supporting your God or your deity. And which God is the God of Islam? Allah. But what does the reporter say? This militant, he doesn't call it Islam. He desensitizes us and saying it's militant. So what do we go? Okay. We sit back in our armchairs and go, oh, well, we don't really need to take any notice of this because it's a relatively unknown port. I don't know about it. And it's only the militant, the small arm of people who really are not operating under the true banner of Islam. These extremists. But is that really the case? If we really study Islam and we study the jihad way of operating, the Islamic way of operating, look what Muhammad did. He first of all started with the peaceful verses in Mecca, claiming your religion is our religion, there's no compulsion in religion. Then when he gets 13 years later into Medina, he starts then enforcing his law as he starts getting a little bit more power and structure, and he starts going, yeah, kill the polytheists, only if they attack you. And then, how does he end? He ends, kill the polytheists wherever you find them, Surah 9:29. And that is the progression of Islam. And now what are we finding in northern Mozambique? We're now finding the control. They're getting the monetary value to consolidate. And before you know it, it's going to come down and spread into Africa. Now we might say it's only the militants again, and as I've expressed many times, that's 144 million Muslims ready to take up arms to kill in the name of their God, Allah. And what does Islam say? Or what do the reports say? No, but those are only the violent, in the violent arm of these outside groups. Yet 71% of Muslims worldwide support Sharia law. And that is what the Islamic ISIS operation is looking for, to have Sharia law, to take your freedom and your rights away from you. And why do we know this? because that's what the Quran says. So the Quran tells Muslims to fight until there is no other religion except Islam. And this is what's happening, gents. We need to be aware of the game plan of Islam. And it's very key to understand and read between the lines, because when we hear the reports, listen to this other clip, for example.
But when Furkila looked at their recruiting methods, he found the messaging was local. Young men were recruited based on promises of jobs.
It's not very much based on the ideology, but they try to explore the socioeconomic conditions of young people.
Notice in this report how the main focus is taken away from the Islamic people into the social economic problems of the country. So what is Islam doing? They're using the social economic problems of the country, promoting their faith. And we think, okay, it must be a problem related to that area through the corruption of the governments or human rights violations or whatever. But that's not the truth. The truth is they're recruiting local people, putting food in their mouth and a gun in their arms and shouting Allah Akbar in the name of Allah. Allah is the greatest. For Islam, for world domination. This is what they've been taught. And they've been taught this through going to schools in Tanzania, in Somalia, promoting the ideology and coming back and then fighting. But let's have a look at the facts, because the facts show us. Look what happened last month in Nigeria. Nigeria, a Muslim singer puts out a song, and next minute he's in front of the Sharia court and is sentenced to death by hanging. Why? For criticizing Muhammad. Criticizing Muhammad. Forget about Allah. This is just Muhammad. And why can they do that? Because that is what the Quran instructs Muslims to do. If you criticize Muhammad, you need to be killed. And this is what's coming our way, folks. This is what's infiltrating into Africa through Mozambique. And already ISIS had said if South Africa does anything to stand against them, they're going to move their operations into the South African context. And it's coming, gents. It's coming. They're following the plan of what Muhammad did. They're going at the moment and saying, just leave us in Mozambique and we'll be okay. We won't touch you. As soon as they've got their wealth and their army sorted, they're coming to South Africa next. And before you know it, it's your 6-year-old daughter which is going to be married to a Muslim. It's your son's head which is going to be cut off. It's your house which is going to get burned for not following Islam. And this is the true facts of what's happening in Mozambique. You might be asking, why does ISIS want to control, or Islam want to control, this little unknown eastern seaboard town? Well, it's a key port for the importing or the distribution of heroin from Islamic countries like Afghanistan. And if we have a look at reports, now the earliest report I could find was in 2003, where the heroin trade is considered to be $321.6 billion US. That's in 2003, 17 years ago. Imagine what it is today. $321.6 billion US. Vast percentage of that is going into the Islamic bank accounts to promote the cause of Allah in this violent way. But have a look at the context of this. Close to that very port, only 17 kilometers away, is the newly found gas fields. And what are the news reports all about? They're all about the gas fields and how this and Total is going to pull out and how's it going to affect the economy, etc. Islam is not worried about the gas fields. With $321.6 billion US behind them, that is far more money than they can get out of the gas fields. Understand the context, gents. And this is important. This is important for our welfare and our well-being. We do not want to go south. And hear me when I say, I want to restate this and learn it, folks. If anything you want to learn about Islam is its progression and how it's planning to overtake the world. Remember, it's Muhammad instructed his followers to take over the world for Islam. And it says so clearly in Surah 7, 157. O mankind, indeed, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah to you all. To him belongs the dominion of heaven and earth. So Muslims follow Muhammad. And what did Muhammad do? First of all, he started his peaceful religion in Mecca, Surah 29:36 and Surah 256. Your religion is our religion. There's no compulsion in religion. Then he got a little bit more strong-handed with peaceful tolerance in Surah 2:191, where he says, wherever they overtake you, in other words, as soon as someone attacks you, you have the right to attack them back. And then later, towards the end, before he went back and took control of Mecca, Surah 9:29, kill the polytheists wherever you find them. That's the non-believer, gents. Kill anyone who stands in your way, because what? We now have the power. Are we going to allow Islam to gain power and take control of your life? Because remember, in Surah 8:39, it says very clearly, and fight them until there is no mischief. In other words, there is no criticizing or no one standing against the faith of Islam. And fight them until no mischief remains, and the entire religion is for Allah. This is the command of Muhammad, gentlemen, and the command of the Islamic God Allah, which Muslims faithfully follow. I'll leave it with you, and I'll leave you with a big question. What race are you running?